Hi folks, Steven here. So, this is going to be yet another Pokemon Go Community Day recap. Of course, we try to do these. We did one last weekend because this is an unusual month to say the least. We're getting multiple community days in 1 month, which I'm not sure exactly why they did it. Maybe it might have been actually to make up for March where they canceled Community Day. That just occurred to me just now, and that makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. So that's possibly what they did here to give us our full complement of the usual 12 in a year. All right, so as usual, we're going to go straight into the PowerPoint right now. This time around, it was Magmar / Magmortar. All right. First part to talk about, based here in Madison, Wisconsin, if you didn't know, and excuse me, I always like to do the weather here. As much as I like places like Hawaii, having varied weather here in Wisconsin does make this segment a little more interesting. In any case, I did pull up the numbers for last Sunday, the 15th, which was the Electabuzz Community Day. You can see there we had a high of 54, normal 46, low of 34, normal 32. So, and then average wind speed, yeah, I knew it was busy that day. I only had the stuff for the day before when we did this last Sunday. But 18.8 miles per hour average wind speed, which is pretty quick. By comparison, yesterday, Saturday, November 21st, high was, 45, normal is 43. So not a huge difference, but let's see. And then the low is 33, normal is 30. Let's see here. Average wind speed yesterday, 3.5 miles per hour. So less than a quarter, a little more than a fifth. So yeah, much less windy, although I didn't really go outside much yesterday for this. But as usual, this is all per the National Weather Service. All right, so yesterday, Community Day Magmar. For some reason, I keep taking a picture of these at the very end of the time frame. But you see more Magmar appearing in the wild. Let's see, 5 surprise encounters. Tickets, no match for Magmar. Interesting title. I'm guessing that's supposed to be a fire pun right there. Not sure if that works in other languages for match. But in any case, special research story available in the... For some reason, these get cut off so often. And then 1/4 hatch distance. So definitely hope you put something in an incubator yesterday at least once. Because 1/4 hatch distance is pretty good. All right. So yes, as usual, there's an event ticket for this. I do like this feature. As much as I complain about the routine tasks and them being pretty much the same every time around, I do like having these, and I want to see more of them in the future. I do kind of wonder what we might be getting next month. In any case, you can see it runs the usual time, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Let's see. Now, the interesting thing, I've mentioned this before, these event tickets count as an item in your inventory until the community day is over. So if you are full up, like I was 563 out of 550 there, you can see. Had to clear off some space in my bag for some of this to get that going. You know, it's a first world problem, I guess. Anyway, let's see. So after I took care of that, I was able to pick this up for $1. You know, I do kind of think maybe they should make that exemption since you are paying money for it. So that's something to think about, I suppose. All right, so as per usual, we get a little bit of a mini story here from Professor Willow. Now, the weird thing about this is that for some reason he tries to pretend like he's keeping it a secret for purposes of this, which is really kind of weird. Because obviously it's in the event name, no match for Magmar. It's kind of odd. But anyway, you get the usual first round tasks. You get Power Up Pokemon, 15 Magmar, 5 Nice Throws. Very, very usual there. Let's see. And then we have And as they've been doing lately, there is a non-purchase, smaller thing you can do here. That is Community Day Magmar, and that's, of course, to power up Pokemon, catch some Magmar, and make some nice throws. And you get some, firstly, you get like 60 Great Balls out of that, which is honestly a pretty good deal. And then you have a Sinnoh Stone. Actually, you can get a total of 4 of them out of that. And that's without even actually paying money. So even if you don't intend to spend any money on this, you should definitely give it a go, pardon the term, next time one of these comes up if they keep doing this. Because that is some, getting those evolution items really, really useful. Okay, so it's another 4-phaser. So here's the regular versus shiny comparison we always like to do. You see on the left is the regular Magmar, and then on the right is the shiny one. I think this is the only shiny I got over the course. Maybe one more other than that, but I think this might have been the only one I got. As you can see, I caught it I took a picture of it pretty early because it still got the little sparkles coming off from being a shiny at the start of the encounter, so it was pretty good reaction time there. Definitely more deeper red there on it. Not completely dissimilar to the Electabuzz, but a somewhat different shade of red, and of course it started from a somewhat different place. Not sure how much else I have to say there. I'm not sure if there's any historical stuff there with Magmar or stuff like that. Anything lava specific with its shiny color, but I think it's okay. Alright, so we're actually going to spend a fair bit of this time talking about stuff that is not directly related to it, because I think I actually had a bit more to talk about there than with the main thing. Not that it was bad for the Magmar event. It did actually help me out with some of the stuff, but you can see here these are a few of the raids that popped up that I tried out. You've got an Alolan Vulpix, a Magnemite, and a Cobalion. The Cobalion, I did try and invite some people from my friends list, and unfortunately we just didn't get enough people together, and I was kind of the only person there, and didn't go super well when the thing actually started, which, I don't blame them. You need to have really at least 3 or 4 people to have any shot at these things, and even then it can be pretty difficult. But the Vulpix, Magnemite, and a couple others that were level 1 raids, I'm still not seeing many level 2s out there, or 4s. I don't know if those are still around or what. But in any case, not seeing so many of those out there. But just seeing a lot of level 1s. And those worked out just fine. I got a fair amount of experience from that. Of course, they're doing that thing where they're raising the level cap, and if you can get to 40 by year's end, I just made it to 31, so there's no way I'm getting to level 40 before the end of the year. But they are doing some catch bonuses, some extra EXP there, which is nice. All right. So, again, inviting folks to raids, I think it still needs some work. I'm sure there's some folks who are really well coordinated and can make it work every time practically, but all right. So, second part here, let's see, talks a little bit about Magby, the thing here. It's nice that it talks about it, but I really wish we could, even if it wasn't it doesn't have to be a super common spawn, since, to be honest, baby Pokemon just don't have a ton of purpose in Pokemon Go. It's kind of sad, but it is relatively true there, which is not great. I think I might have a Magby somewhere, but I'm not sure. But it'd be nice if they spawn just occasionally to remind you, oh yes, it's there. And they should still count, like getting an Executor counts for getting execute and stuff. I think it goes the other way around. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. Just getting a Pichu count for a Pikachu, and it tells you to catch a certain number of those. But, it would be kind of nice to see some of that. And it sort of talks about the how cute it is and stuff like that, which is kind of funny. Unfortunately, I don't have the second set of tasks listed up here. I guess I forgot to take a screenshot of those, but I'm pretty sure they are pretty similar. There was, you had to transfer a number of Pokemon, you had to catch more Magmar, and there was one other thing there. That's one of the usual things. I'm not sure exactly. I think they maybe should have put more emphasis on the photo stuff, because that's like sunlight/heat. I don't know exactly what they would have done. Like I said, last week for the Electabuzz thing, I thought, they could do something where you'd have to charge your phone for a certain amount of time, or something like that, during the community day. I know that may not be a great thing for everybody out there, but Most folks should have some access to that, either in their home or in their car or at wherever restaurant or whatever, or from a power bank. They should have some option there, and I think that would be a good thing to do. To come with some things. For the fire one, not really sure. Obviously, we don't want folks setting things on fire, even if your phone could sense that. All right. So here's some more things that happened. I actually made a decent amount of progress on some other objectives, like that weird mystery egg thing from Team Rocket. And also, let's see, I got a timber from a raid battle, and that was a new Pokemon for me. I got this Drowsy from a Team Rocket battle that let me complete some stuff, and has an interesting number of combat points, I think is what it stands for. But, excuse me. And then on the right, you can see I got a Toxicroak. I think it was also through one of the Team Rocket events that's going on right now, so I made some progress there, and Toxicroak also a new Pokemon for iPokedex, so some of the most interesting stuff yesterday strangely had nothing to do with the Magmar Community Day, but I guess it gave me an excuse to take care of some of this stuff. Let's see, I think... yes, and then there's our third phase for that. The Blast Pokemon. Exciting stuff, yeah, so... Yeah, Magmortar is kind of interesting how it has the arms that it can shoot fire out of, which is kind of odd, to be honest. I know they've... I always remember this one Pokemon TCG cards where they changed the art to be a little less confrontational between versions. I wish I had a picture of that. I don't think I have the original one. But you can see here the usual tasks. 3 great curveball throws. Oh, now I remember. The other task was to use pineapple berries to get more candy. That's right. Evolve a Magmar to get some golden raspberries, and transfer 10 Pokemon. That was also on stage 2, and then you get some stuff there. I did end up using an incense towards the end just to make sure I could get enough stuff and get some more Magmar candy for the end of things there. But otherwise, not too bad. And this is sort of the inter-egg sting development. Yeah, so this is something we have going on here. One of the other ones I'm still going through. So I completed, I think, stage 3 of that. I actually found a pretty good way to beat Sierra, the female of the admins, for Team Go Rocket. I have a Metagross that's pretty high level and can sort of stall out her Drowsy. That's where that Drowsy was from, by the way. But now I gotta battle the other ones and earn some more experience. So, yeah, you notice I get the black Team Rocket radar, which I believe gives me another chance to fight the boss at some point. All right, so I did get a bunch of Magmar. I didn't end up keeping nearly as many as I sometimes do. But this Magmar was pretty much the closest to perfect stats that I got. You can see it's full in 2, and then the middle one is like 2.5 or so. And so this is the one I evolved. And there you go. There's your picture right there, Magmortar. Yeah, it's one of the many... You can see it's grouped in the Pokédex with all those other evolutions from that era. All the things that got an evolution in Gen 4 from previous generations, like Weavile and Electivire and Tangrowth and all that fun stuff, Togekiss. All like 8 of them there. And of course, last week you would have gotten an Electivire with Flamethrower. This time you get a Magmortar with Thunderbolt, which is kind of neat. So we'll see. That'll probably be useful in certain battling/raid situations later. And it actually mentions they're caught during special research, which is interesting. So it's listed on there now. I think that's the change I just read about them making recently. You can see I still have a lot of Magmar candy left over. Oh, there we go. And we have a few more things here. So this is sort of the wrap up there. Fire in my heart. So yeah, as you can probably guess, fair number of heat/fire puns in this one, which, you know, I know that some of this is aimed at a demographic that's a little younger than me and appreciates that type of humor a little bit differently than I do. So I'm not going to say I'm against it, but I always want to see them show some more creativity here. Number 4 is the usual good stuff you get there, including another Magmortar with the special move. So pretty good usual time there. It's about what I expect. All right, overall thoughts for this one? Well, I'm glad I was able to make progress on some other tasks while I was in the middle of this. That was a nice thing to finally make some progress on the Team Rocket stuff, and I think I also made some progress on some of the Halloween stuff still. Mixed results with raid invites, yeah, so those are, I don't know, I'm sure they work great for some folks who want there, but when you're almost completely reliant, I had one other raid where there was one other person there. When you're completely reliant on someone, getting invites is kind of, that's the only way you can get additional folks and do anything higher than a level 2 or 3 raid. So yeah, I kind of wish that you could do more than or bring in more than 5 people. And I obviously, these folks on my friends list, I should get more of them, I guess. But they have lives too, so they're not always available even during a community day. All right, and then next month, well, remember last year, I'm not sure what they're going to do this year, I don't have any insight into that, but last year what they did was they did a compilation one for December where they took a bunch of stuff, all the different ones from 2019 and did one thing. Wondering if they'll do the same thing today. That'll be kind of difficult to write they'll have to do something very different for the actual writing of that. The tasks may be kind of similar. We'll see how all that fits together. And all that stuff. But interested to see what they do for December, since that'll be that one. But yeah, all right. A couple other pieces of housekeeping for the channel. All right. Upcoming interview you should be seeing hopefully by the end of Thanksgiving weekend. So let's see. Okay, I want to make sure I get the pronunciation right because it was a little tough. Veronica Wyant. I interviewed her earlier this week. She's her day job is she teaches percussion. You can sort of see in there some of the stuff. But she also does these cover videos like you might have seen on YouTube and stuff like that. Turns out recently at the end of October, I guess for Halloween ostensibly, she did a cover of the Duskull Graveyard theme from Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. And, we did that discussion a couple weeks ago, and I just happened to see, well, does anyone do, covers of these things? And turns out there was one right there, right then, so she just sort of happened to be in the right place at the right time, and I was impressed enough that we get in there, and you can see that she does, percussion is not just drums, you can see they have a couple different types of, marimba, and I think a xylophone, and you see a triangle, and also some, what those sticks are called and stuff like that, but it's more than just drums. Or even just drums and piano. Piano is technically considered a percussion instrument, although it's so general purpose that folks just it's just a piano, I guess, to some folks. But if you want to check out her stuff, VRON Media is her channel on YouTube. She also has stuff on the streaming services and whatnot. So if you want to check that out, but it was a good interview, and I hope to have it up sometime within the next week or so. Hopefully by the end of next weekend. So look forward to that. All right. Also wanted to give a brief update on the Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy Randomizer that I've been working on. For those of you who don't remember, this is a randomizer for the Game Boy game version of the trading card game, which itself is based on the video game. But in any case, a randomizer is where it takes certain elements of the game and randomly changes them or swaps them around or stuff like that. So earlier this month, at the first full weekend of the month, I put in an update to add some options for alternate coins. You have grass, fire, and water metals now you can choose from and use those in the game. You can see the water metal here. Had to do a little bit of tricky stuff to account for the fact that the sprites are not quite the same size. The next thing I'm doing is I'm developing some randomization options for the club masters. These are the ones in the 8 clubs on the island, and changing some of the stuff there. I figured out a couple of them and working on more. Probably won't have them all randomized in the next update, but I hope to have at least 3 to 5 of them randomized in some fashion and stuff like that. So keep an eye on that. I hope to do a live stream that works a little better than the last time I tried on there. But you can certainly check that out. Just look for, let's see, I'm not sure exactly how you search for it. I should put a link in there. I'll see what I can do. All right, and then finally, sort of a reiteration of last week's update on the Pokecasters Network. They are trying to do a charity event next month in December. It's likely going to be either the 12th or the 19th, the 21st, somewhere in that range there is going to be there. And they're still, last I heard, they were still looking for some folks to help out with. But keep an eye on that. Okay, so that's the end of our slideshow, and we're going to come back here. But yeah, that should cover things for today. So I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see what happens next month, but keep an eye out for that upcoming stuff on the channel. All right, folks, thanks.